All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to go on a little journey. We're going to follow a piece of data from a super simple web form, see how it travels all the way into a Go application, and then how the application responds. It's going to be fun. You know, you've done it 1,000 times. You're on a website, you fill out a contact form, and you click Submit. But have you ever stopped to think about what's actually going on under the hood? How does your message get from your screen to, well, wherever it goes? That's exactly what we're going to unpack today. So, every journey has a starting point, and ours begins right where the user does, with this humble, everyday contact form.
Now, this is the basic HTML that builds what you see. You've got your standard inputs for email, subject, and a text area for the message. But I want you to pay really close attention to that name attribute on each one. It might seem like a small detail, but trust me, it's the secret key that unlocks everything on the back end.
And here's what's so cool about this setup. We're using a single Go template file to show both of these views. It's pretty clever, right? Depending on whether the form was submitted successfully, our server can just tell that one file, hey, show the input fields, or nope, show the confirmation message instead. It's a really efficient way to handle different states in the UI.
Okay, the user has officially clicked Submit. Now we switch gears. We're leaving the browser behind and heading into the Go backend. You can kind of think of our Go server as a digital mailroom, just sitting there waiting for that form data to arrive.
Our little mailroom, our Go server, really only has 3 main jobs, and they're pretty straightforward. First, it needs a blueprint so it knows what the incoming data is supposed to look like. Second, it has to actually listen for the mail to show up. And third, once the mail arrives, it needs a process for handling it.
And this struct, right here, this is our data blueprint. It's like a perfectly designed filing cabinet. We're telling Go, hey, the data we're expecting will have an email, a subject, and a message, and they're all going to be strings. This keeps everything organized, predictable, and safe from the moment it comes in.
So who's the mail clerk in our mailroom? It's this function, http.handle function. We've told it to watch our main URL, so when that form data comes knocking on the door, this is the code that springs into action to greet it.
But our handler is also a pretty smart gatekeeper. The very first thing it does is check if the request is a post request. This is super important. It's a little guard that stops our processing logic from running when someone just loads the page. It only wants to work when a form is actually being submitted.
Okay, now we're at the most critical part of this whole thing. This is the magic moment. How does the data from that simple HTML form actually find its way into our Go program? This is the connection.
It all goes back to the HTML. Remember that attribute we pointed out? Name equals email? This isn't just a label for us humans. It's literally a tag that the browser attaches to the user's data before sending it off. Think of it like putting a label on a package you're about to mail. And now, look at the Go code. That little function, r.formValueEmail, is our server reaching into the incoming data and saying, okay, give me the package with the email label on it. You see it now? That's the connection.
And I really can't stress this enough. This is the #1 takeaway. The value of the name attribute in your HTML has to exactly match the string you put inside r.formValue in your Go code. That's the bridge. That's the whole secret that makes this work. So putting it all together, the server just calls form value for each field, email, subject, and message, and neatly places each piece of data into our contact details struct. And just like that, what was raw, messy text from a form a second ago is now a clean, structured, and useful Go object. All right, we've received the data, we've organized it. The journey is almost complete. Now for the final step. How does our server send back that friendly thank you confirmation?
This line of code handles the finale. The tmpl.execute function takes our original HTML page and re-renders it. But this time, it sends a tiny new piece of data along for the ride, a simple flag, success true. The template is built to see this flag and know, aha, time to show the success message instead of the form.
And there we have it, the data's full journey from start to finish. It goes from the user's click to a post request, our Go handler catches it, it parses the data using the name attribute, organizes it into our struct, responds by re-rendering the template with that success flag, and finally, the user sees the confirmation, a perfect, seamless round trip. So you might be thinking, okay, it's a simple contact form. Why does this matter so much? Well, because this simple pattern is the absolute bedrock of almost every interactive web application. Understanding this clean separation of concerns, the front-end display, the back-end logic, and that critical link between them is key to building anything on the web.
So if you only remember a few things from this, let it be these. First, that HTML name attribute is the critical link. It's everything. Second, Go structs are your best friend for handling form data in a safe, predictable way. Third, a single template can be powerful enough to show multiple states to your user. And finally, HTTP.handleFunc is your front door for processing all incoming web requests.
So we followed the data's entire journey, from browser to server and all the way back again. The foundation is there, you understand the pieces. The only question left is, now that you know how to capture user input, what are you going to build with it?